I keep moving down the road. You know they call me the breeze, baby. I keep moving down the road. It started with Clyde and myself on his veranda, just for the love of music. Clyde would get a couple of musos together and then we'd play a bit of music, and it just grew and grew from there. And all the while I never knew that Clyde was a budding musician. And after some years he said he wanted to learn to drum, and I said go for it, and he did. And this is the result. The gig just got too big for the veranda, and it's just blossomed to this, and all due to the effort of Clyde. So bless him. Thanks very much.
We've done it for 5 years. We first started off at Polar Pony Hotel, and then we moved here, and it's just grown bigger and bigger. Well, Clive originally developed it at his house, and he started off with about 30 people on his veranda, and it's just grown bigger and bigger until obviously we've got this huge stage and all these artists.
Thank you so much. This is the first time we've ever played together. Ever. So we're just gonna wing it.
This is not a show. This is just a bunch of friends playing some music. Nothing is rehearsed with this band.
The concept of UnRehearsed didn't really start as UnRehearsed. It started as a live jam at my house. We didn't have a veranda. We did it in our lounge. Penny at the time moved all the furniture out. Guests sat on the veranda. Chance of getting wet, the equipment didn't get wet. Barry used to come down with 2 bucket loads of equipment, set it up in the lounge, and the guys would play. I didn't play at that stage. Did it basically for Derek, and it grew from there. I then realised that there was a bit of a scope. All the friends that came wanted to come back again. We used to do it on my veranda. I used to put a tarp up. I'd get a mate of mine to come put some piping work up as a framework. We'd put a tarp over it, and we'd have a gig under that tarp with about 60, 70 people. The neighbours, I live in quite a big area. We've got 2.5 acre plots. I used to see the neighbours sitting on their verandas, on their lawns, having braais with all their friends, and it got quite good. As we got better over the years, you used to be able to hear the applause from different plots around the neighbourhood. And yeah, we realised there was big scope in it. It got to a stage where I was standing on the veranda one night, and I looked out over the valley. We live in a sort of a valley. We were at the top of this valley, and I saw this line of traffic coming down the road. It reminded me of when you were a kid and you went to the drive-in with your folks, and you sat in the drive and you watched everyone lining up behind the drive-in to get in. And I thought to myself, God, where are these cars going? And I realised, this is my house. I looked at the bottom of the yard. I could just see the top of our gate, and it basically got too big. We had invited 80 people, and we had about 160 people pitch. It just started with live jams, getting together. I used to go to gigs. I've got another little story which came to me. I was going to the rugby this last year with Sandy, and Mike Diaga I saw play with Bev McGregor at the rugby, I would say maybe 14 years ago. And I can remember standing in front of that stage and thinking to myself, hey, I would love to play in a band like this. There were 4,000 or 5,000 people there. I was right up front watching them. I knew who Diaga was. I knew Bev, Spacey, Johnny's daughter. And I just thought to myself, you know, that's my dream. Anyhow, 14 years later, I was going down to the rugby, and it dawned on me that my band is playing at the rugby tonight, 14 years later. That's a dream come true at 50 years old. The second part of that story was we actually flew Mike out 3 weeks later from London to play with our band. And you know, when you think back in music, to me that's what it's about. I'm not in it for the money. It's not my profession. In fact, what you see in UnRehearsed, there's most probably 2 or 3 professional musicians that play on the night. The rest have all got day jobs, and you know, we're not out there as competition. We're actually having fun. It's a bunch of old bullets having fun. We've got a few youngsters that we've pulled in over the years, and it works.
Hello, this is Mark Diaga speaking to you from London in the UK. Looking forward to seeing you guys at UnRehearsed. Bringing my good friend Dennis Stratton. Hope to see you there. Cheers.